going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be centering it around the launchers and how to get dark matter specifically on the Cigma. I did one for the RPG and it's got a lot of support, so I really thank you guys for that, and it's kind of got me thinking that a lot of people are struggling with launchers still to this day if I'm getting views like this like 4 months after the game's coming out. So I've done a couple of videos on the Cigma in the past, but for me the Cigma was the fucking bane of my life. It was the worst gun in the category, in the class, in the game that I had to try and get dark matter, and it took me the most time and most, to put it in perspective, 2 weeks it took me to get this gun gold. And the reason for that is because I just stopped playing the game. I was so demotivated about going for launchers, I just didn't play Cold War for like 2 weeks, and that was because I needed to do the Cigma. Unfortunately it did take me that long, but I had to grit it out. I finally did it. So today in this video the idea is to go through all of the camos step by step and one by one through every single camo in the Cigma class and give you guys some tips on how to do them. I know the big one is double kill, so that's a big one that I'm going to try and give you as many tips as possible on, but unfortunately it's just luck, and with flat jacket in the game it just makes things so fucking hard. And apparently they've buffed the launchers, but yeah, not by much unfortunately. But guys, without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Okay, so the Cigma. Yeah, literally don't need any other introduction. It's just fucking awful. So going from camo to camo, everyone down the list, and giving you guys some tips on how to get them that little bit faster. The last video I did was, I think it was around 17 minutes long, so we might get to around that in this, but again, there'll be timestamps in the description per camo as to what you guys are stuck on, so click on it down below and go move to whatever it is that you want. Okay, so starting off with a spray camo, and this is around eliminations, and this is the same with the RPG and the Cigma. You've just got to get 50 eliminations with the Cigma. Now 50 eliminations, it sounds like quite a lot, but when you are using the Cigma and going for other challenges, then you know can get it fairly quickly, especially on things like hardcore Nuketown, and with the new maps that have come out, like such as Express, Apocalypse and things like that. They're fairly smaller maps with 3 lanes, and it's a little bit easier to anticipate enemies coming from different places and things like that. So again, the eliminations is not too difficult to get. For me, typically I would stick to Nuketown if you can. It's hardcore Nuketown preferably, such as Domination and things like that. Domination's been a pretty good godsend for me with eliminations, because again, if your team's captured A and B, and then you can just sort of sit in the middle and look at C, and then you can kind of anticipate if an enemy comes into a garage, in a doorway, in a window, you can kind of just shoot there and then you can get that elimination. Obviously the big thing with this is flat jacket. It's terrible. It's not going to go anywhere, unfortunately, and they've said they've buffed it launchers, but they just haven't buffed them at all. And yeah, it's very, very irritating. You're going to get a lot of hit markers, unfortunately, and some kills, some even double kills that you think you've got, you ain't going to get because of flat jacket. So you've got to be careful with that. And for me, I found that lobby surfing was the one to go for. I found that lobby surfing was a really easy way to get out of flat jacket as well. And if you join friends with lower KD or reverse boost with the Cigma, you will get into lobbies with less people using flat jacket. And I found that out to be a very easy way to get around it and manipulate the use of flat jacket. It seems the more sweatier lobbies you go into, everyone runs flat jacket. Like, it's impossible to get into a lobby without someone using it on the other team. Whereas if you reverse boost or play with a friend with a lower KD and you go into the Nuketown game, you'll run into less people using flat jacket, and it's honestly the easiest way of doing it, in my opinion. With the Cigma, it aims in extremely slowly. It's nothing like the RPG where this one aims in quick, you can run around the map and shoot. The Cigma is nothing like that. You aim in so fucking slowly with the Cigma, it's actually so irritating how slow you aim in with this launcher. And the problem, obviously, with this is that you can't rush around with this, because if you're rushing into their spawn, you're aiming in the middle of a 1v1 gunfight, you're obviously going to get popped by another weapon on hardcore extremely quickly, whereas the Sigma's still going to be aiming in by the time you're dead. And that's the problem with the Cigma. For me, you've got to sit back a little bit. You've got to sit towards the middle of the map and just try and aim it in these doorways, or camp in a room where an objective is, wait for enemies to come through, or try and spawn camp the enemies in the house on Nuketown. That's one of the best ways to do it as well. And for me, I can't rush around with the Cigma just because it aims so damn slowly. Anticipate enemies coming, have your sights up at all times, camp on objectives, and just camp doorways, boys. It is the only way to do this as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And unfortunately, there's nothing around flat jacket, and that's the only problem with this. So they're the tips I give you for the eliminations. Moving on to stripes, guys. This is around destroying equipment, score streaks, or vehicles in multiplayer. Now this for me is, again, quite an easy one to do, and it doesn't take too long to get this done. You can just stay in a Nuketown game. That's what you can do with eliminations, and you can do it in there. Again, equipment can be anything from a trophy system, it can be anything from a gas mine, it can be anything from a proximity mine, anything like that. You can get those, if as long as they're destroyed with obviously the Cigma, you'll get that towards your camo. And obviously to have the most effect and to do that as efficiently as possible, you need to have engineer on as a perk as well. So that's perk 3. Make sure you've got it on. Effectively, you can see equipment and all of that sort of stuff through walls, and it shows up in a red, and it's honestly the best thing to have on. You've got to have engineer on for launchers. Has got to be on. Like, literally, it's not negotiable. You cannot stress it enough. And yeah, it's good. Scorestreaks as well. This counts towards UAV. So Nuketown, if you're in a sweaty lobby, there's going to be around 5 to 10 UAVs per game if you're in a very competitive and sweaty lobby. So again, I would make sure that you've got engineer on. You can see exactly when they're in the air. Also, ground streaks like RCXDs, sentry guns, counter UAVs, stuff like that. Helicopters, care package helicopters as well. Make sure you're on the lookout for them with the Cigma, and every time there's one in the air, just pop it out and boom, that'll count towards it. Me, again, hardcore Nuketown, the best thing to do for this, because you can also get other things done at once, like eliminations, double kills, and things like that. So for me, Nuketown, engineer, make sure you're looking out for those different score streaks equipment through walls and taking out as many UAVs as possible. Or alternatively, if you wanted to try and get other challenges done along with this one, Dirty One was also a very good alternative for doing it. But for me, you actually get this done a lot faster on Nuketown. So typically for me, I would stick with Nuketown. The next one is Classic, and this one is get 2 kills whilst dying 20 times in multiplayer with the Cigma. Now for me, again, this is going to be quite repetitive for most of these challenges, but for me, again, Nuketown is the one. Nuketown Hardcore is the absolute one to go for, and for me, it's massively around and relies on skill and objective based game modes such as domination or hardpoint. They are 2 big ones you guys should look out for. Things like TDM and kill confirmed, yeah, they work, you can kind of get them on there, but they don't work as effectively. The reason why I say go for domination and hardpoint is, one, there's one objective in the map that enemies are going to go for, and for example, if they're all on a B flag, you can shoot a bullet on a B flag or a rocket on a B flag, and you can potentially get 3 or 4 kills if they're all on there. Same with the hard point. If the whole team is on a hard point and you fire a Cigma rocket, obviously if they don't have flak jacket on, you could get up to 3 to 4 kills just with that one Cigma rocket. So for me, I would stick to the objective based if possible, but it's not really a massive thing if you don't. But it can be done on TDM or kill confirm if you're getting really unlucky with these game modes. For me, again, similar to what the eliminations were like, I would sit inside the Nuketown houses where the objective goes to and from, or from around the C or the C or the A flag, in doorways waiting for enemies to come through. Or again, you can sit in the middle of the map and sort of peek and pre-aim windows, garages, little walkways from either side of the house, the B flag, the other side of the B flag, so where the car is. You can just do that, and again, you've got to pre-aim. You can't run into a gunfight with the Cigma and expect to come out of it alive, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get popped off because of how slow it aims in. You've got to be prepared for every single encounter or interaction with an enemy. So as that's why I always say, if you don't sit inside a building near an objective or near their spawn, I would sit in the middle of the map with your sights up, or with your intention of pulling your sights up very, very quickly when you do see someone, get into cover and then pull your sights up and then take the shot. Don't just obviously stand there and run in and obviously try and pull your sights up when you see an enemy or you're next to one, because 9 times out of 10, as I mentioned, you're going to get pops because you're still going to be aiming in with the Cigma because it's such a damn slow weapon. Again, you've got to get 2 kills on this as well without dying. So again, just a 2 kill streak. Doesn't have to be a double kill. Doesn't have to be 2 kills at one time. Doesn't have to be 2 kills and instantly another kill. It can literally be 1 kill, wait 5 minutes, get another kill. That's literally it. As long as you don't die in between that time, then it will count towards your streak. So my advice to you guys is, as I mentioned, just do what I've said. Literally stay in the houses, middle of the map, etc. But once you've got that first kill, be a bit more cautious. Do not rush straight in for the next one, because my biggest mistake for me when I was going for it was I would get the first kill, I'd be like, oh, okay, I can rush in and get this next one, because the next person you might shoot might have flak jacket on and might kill you and might completely fuck you backwards. Do not rush in. It is a mistake. The best thing for you to do is to get that first kill, be very cautious, even drop back a little bit to your spawn, sit there for a little bit, wait for the team to capture a flag, wait for them to push your spawn a little bit more, or, you know, get your teams in a spawn trap or something, and then proceed to try and get the second kill. Don't rush in. It's the worst possible thing you can do, because when you die to someone who's had flak jacket, when you've clearly shot them 2 to 3 times with a single rocket bullet, which, I don't know, should probably blow your arms off, they apparently survive and kill you. So just yeah, be cautious after that first kill and then try and pick off the second. It doesn't always work out like that. It's easier said than done, of course. But for me, that's what I learned to do, and that's how I got it done as quickly as possible. The next one is geometric, and this one is destroy 50 ground-based score streaks or vehicles in multiplayer. Now, of course, the key thing in this sentence is score streaks or vehicles. Vehicles being things in Dirty Bomb, being in Combined Arms, or score streaks being obviously the RCXDs, the different things like the sentry guns and all of those different ground-based score streaks that you can destroy as well and count towards your streaks. For me, the best thing to do is get on Dirty Bomb, get on things like Rucker, get on maps such as Sanatorium or Rucker, and just hover above the map and try and take out the vehicles. The amazing thing about the Cigma, and I can't believe I'm saying that the Cigma has an amazing quality, is the fact that it locks on, and it makes things so much easier. With the RPG, obviously, you've got to direct your shots completely. You've got to get low enough to the ground where you can actually shoot them and destroy the vehicles. With the Cigma, you can kind of be a bit lazy about it. Hover into the sky, look at the enemy, lock on, and then take the shot, and you're 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that kill, or you're going to get that destroy of a vehicle or something like that. Vehicles are the easiest way to get this challenge done. Ground-based score streaks, yeah, it just depends. It's very reliant on if the enemy get them. So if the enemy are getting destroyed by your team, you're not really going to get any ground-based streaks unless they get lucky out of a care package. But for me, everyone always gets in vehicles on Dirty Bomb. It's an absolute given, especially on maps like Sanatorium, because it is such a big map and there's so many objectives. Sanatorium is the one I would look out for, but Rucker actually has a lot of vehicles as well. Alps doesn't have too many. I mean, it obviously has the vehicles, but not many people use them on that map for some reason. So for me, the two maps, Rucker and Sanatorium, are the two best to go for on this. Again, to reiterate, hover above the map, look down, wait for people to get into vehicles, and then just shoot them whilst they're locking on with the Cigma. Sometimes they will jump out before the rocket will hit the vehicle, so it is quite annoying, so look out for that. So for me, I would try and get a bit lower down just so that the rocket doesn't have to travel as far, because when you're in a vehicle and a rocket locks onto that vehicle, it will notify the player in that vehicle there's a rocket locked onto them. So I would try and get as low down as possible, not too low though, so you can maybe get a couple of vehicle destroys with obviously within that same life, rather than just getting one die. I would do that, and then obviously it doesn't take as long, so they don't have as long to react, and it will take the vehicle out a bit faster. So that's the tip I would give you for that. The next one, which is the easiest one to get done, is Flora, and this one is destroy 50 aerial score streaks or vehicles in multiplayer. Now this one, again, Nuketown is your savior for this one. You can do this on normal Nuketown, you can do this on hardcore Nuketown. It does not matter at all. For me, the sweatier the lobby, the better, and I never thought I'd ever say that, but Nuketown is the best thing to do for this, and it can be done on any map, but for me, because of the sweatiness of Nuketown and how many people play it, and how many UAVs and counter UAVs and VSATs and helicopters and care package helicopters are in that are on that map at a given time, I would typically go for that. Yeah, just literally got to play. Shoot down UAVs, shoot down counter UAVs, shoot down attack helicopters, shoot down anything that flies, and you will get this challenge done as quickly as possible. Sometimes I was coming out of Nuketown games with 6 or 7 UAVs taken out, counter UAVs and things like that, just because in some games they go crazy. And again, it doesn't really matter. Objective modes are probably the best to go for because they last longer, which means there's more of a chance of an enemy getting UAV, counter UAV, stuff like that. TDM and kill confirmed, they can last a little bit less time, so you might not have as much of a chance of someone getting those score streaks in that game, but typically you'll always have 1 or 2 UAVs per game anyway. No matter what map it is, you'll always have 1 or 2 UAVs. So for me, yeah, try and stick on Nuketown. Doesn't matter if it's hardcore or not, but if you're going for other challenges, I would recommend sticking to hardcore. And yeah, try your best in just taking out as many UAVs, counter UAVs, care package helicopters, normal attack helicopters, and you can take out as many other different score streaks in the air as possible as you can, and it will count towards your streaks, and it will count towards your camo challenges. So that there's not really much to that one to you guys, because it's the easiest one on there, unfortunately. But yeah, just stick to that and you'll absolutely smash it. Moving on to the science camo, this one's very, very similar to the Flora camo, and for the RPG, this one's a fucking pain in the arse, but for the Cigma, it's actually not that difficult, and I did this very quickly with the Cigma. And again, exactly the same tip as last time. Stick on Nuketown, whether that's hardcore or whether that's just normal Nuketown, and just smash it. Keep playing it and try and take out as many UAVs as possible. Again, it doesn't just have to be UAVs. This can also be things like ground-based score streak. It can even be vehicles in Dirty Bomb, so you can take out 3 vehicles in a game and do it that way. That might be also a really good way of doing it as well, rather than just sticking it in a Nuketown and waiting for UAVs and counter UAVs, which will work, of course, and it's probably, in my opinion, the most effective way of doing it. I would do that. You can go into a Dirty Bomb game and try and kill a couple of challenges with 1 stone, if that makes sense. So you can try and take out as many score streaks on the ground as possible whilst trying to do these. So in a Dirty Bomb game, you can try and take out as many enemy vehicles on the ground as possible whilst trying to complete another challenge as well, where, for example, you take out ground streaks or ground vehicles. Again, that will go towards both of these challenges and it will work fine. It can also count for aerials as well. You're doing aerials, you can do the I don't know, take out the choppers within Dirty Bomb or anything like that, as well as doing the 3 score streaks in one game. It all works, all count towards your streaks, guys. So again, it's entirely up to you how you want to do this. For me, I just stayed on Nuketown or Hardcore Nuketown to do this one, and I got it really, really quickly, just taking out as many UAVs, counter UAVs, helicopters, air package helicopters as possible, and I smashed it really, really quickly, to be honest, guys. This one's not difficult, it's not rocket science. Take out as many streaks as possible, and make sure you're taking out 3 to count as 1 challenge. And finally, this one literally this is what took me 2 weeks to get the Sigma Gold, guys. And this is the Psychedelic camo. Kill 2 or more enemies rapidly 25 times in multiplayer. Might be here for a while on this one, guys, so make sure you strap in. Double kills with the Sigma might be the worst fucking thing in the world. For the one reason being, it's a rocket launcher that shoots marshmallows. It really, really does. It's not a powerful gun at all, but I actually think that the pistols are more effective and powerful than a rocket launcher. It makes no fucking sense at all. But that's the way the Cold War is, unfortunately. Double kills took me about 2 weeks to do because of Flat Jacket, because of me getting 1 kill and then me trying to go for the 2nd kill, and then me getting a hit marker, and then me going for the 2nd shot, getting a hit marker again. And this was when the launchers were at their worst. Now in the last patch and the last few patches, they've actually increased the base damage of the launchers against Flat Jacket on Hardcore Nuketown. They've actually tried to help and increase the damage of the launchers. Whether that's done anything, I don't know. I haven't used it since, and I don't really plan on using it. I'm not even for a video am I going on to Nuketown and doing it, because I refuse use launchers now that I've got them done. That's exactly how it makes you feel. Yeah, that was my struggles with the launchers, and I'm sure many of you guys that are watching have had the same. So here are some tips on how I managed to do it. Nuketown being one of them, which again is probably the go-to map, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Nuketown is the one that I would stick to for most of the challenges, just because it's a small map. Games get done pretty quickly. You get in pretty sweaty lobbies sometimes, so it can work in your favor, and sometimes it does go against you, but typically Nuketown is the best map to go for. Objective-based game modes are massive as well for doing double kills. Again, if you've got in domination, for example, if an enemy is capturing a flag and there's multiple enemies on that flag, you can fire a lucky shot and you can get a double kill quite easily from doing that. That's one of the ways that you can look out for doing it as well. So playing something like hardpoint or domination, you can fire a rocket onto an objective, and you can, most of the time, you will actually get a double kill, which is always a good thing to look out for. So objective-based game modes is number 1 of the list to do. Number 2, the Sigma does not aim in fast. You do not run fast with the Sigma, which means you should not be rushing in with the Sigma. That's one of the biggest things and one of the biggest reasons why everyone fails with the Sigma. And I've watched a lot of videos of people using the Sigma, and I've seen a lot of people do this, and it does not help. And I don't know why people do it. People rush in with the Sigma thinking they're going to get double kills going here and there. Sometimes you do and you get lucky, but because the Sigma aims in so slow and you run so slow, it's so difficult to be able to do that, to be able to aim in quickly, get that kill, because you'll find most of the time when you aim in, you're already dead. So many times I've been caught out trying to aim in and kill an enemy in front of me, but even when you don't aim in and you just like shoot and you press the shoot button, it automatically aims in for you. It does it so damn slowly that you just, most of the time you will die. It's so annoying, and especially when you do it and you get a hit marker with Flat Jacket and then they kill you after. There's no worse feeling, guys, honestly. So for me, typically when at the tail end of me getting these launches done, I kind of find the best way for me was to camp in buildings, camp in objectives. For example, domination on Nuketown, if I'm saying in the A or the C flag, I will sit in a doorway. I will sit in a doorway or in the corner of a room, and I will just wait for them to come through doorways and then get those kills in double kills in that way. The one biggest problem is as well with that is if you shoot, it takes a long time to reload this weapon. Like, it's not a quick shove the rocket in and you're back. Like, it takes time to bring the weapon down, put the rocket in, close it back up, and bring the animation back up. You can't reload cancel on this, and it's the most infuriating thing in the world. You've got to fully wait for it to reload and bring the weapon back up to your sight for you to then use it again. So for me, try not to sit directly in front of a doorway that you know an enemy is going to be able to see you from. Sit in a corner of a Nuketown room where if an enemy comes in, you can get the kill. You've got time to reload before one comes in and notices you, so that you could get a kill in the middle of reloading. Another enemy could walk in, but they don't see you straight away, so you have time to kind of load and then get that extra kill, or at least try and get that second shot off. I wouldn't sit directly into a doorway. I wouldn't sit somewhere where a lot of enemies go. I mean, especially when I would try to sit somewhere where you know a lot of enemies are going to go past, obviously. So for example, in the middle of the Nuketown map, you've got the bus, which is kind of open. You can sit in, you can which leads direct to the B flag. That's a really good spot to try and get some kills from the different houses. So of course you can kind of maneuver yourself as to where you need to be on that part of the map, so you can sit looking into the garages or looking into the houses. There's also an open part where you can see the B flag, so you can get the kills there too. But for me, I found that sitting in buildings, sitting against doorways or in corners where I'm not necessarily going to be seen very easily, was always the best thing for me to do. And sometimes a couple of enemies even came in at once, and I think I've only ever got one triple kill with a Sigma, but when I did, it felt really good. You guys, I'm going to be completely honest, it's mostly luck, and that's only down to Flat Jacket. There's no real tactics or skill to be able to get this gun gold. You've literally just got to grit it and grind it and just try and get it done. Flat Jacket is a fucking ball ache. It's the worst thing in this game by an absolute mile. My biggest tip would have been at the start of the game, Flat Jacket in hardcore was completely broken, didn't work at all. That was the best time to get it done. But unfortunately, we're quite far away from that fix now. So, yeah, we've kind of got to put up with the consequences of not getting it done straight away. And unfortunately, the best way for you to do it is just camp, sit in doorways, just be really obnoxious, and just camp your fucking arse off. I would not say this if it wasn't true. I'm trying to give you guys the best tips, and tips that are going to make it as least painful as possible. And the only way to do that is, as boring as it is, just sit and camp and try and pre-aim some doorways, guys. Honestly, it's the only and the best way. You can kind of try and aim at more areas which more enemies will come down. So the middle of the map in between the two buses, again, a lot of enemies are always there, always come down that one bit. So you can sort of take a lucky shot sometimes and get a double kill there. In the garages of either side, there's always going to be people going in and out of there. On either side of the garages, there's always going to be people going there from spawns as well. Obviously, in the doorways and in the windows in Nuketown, make sure you're pre-aiming and looking in there as well, because there's always going to be people there. And if there's one person, there's most likely going to be a second there as well, tailing behind. So you never know. That lucky shot could always end up being a double kill. And of course, objective-based things. Massive. Make sure you are constantly keeping an eye on those objectives. If the spawns flip straight away and you're still in that spawn, mate, just run to the flag as quickly as possible and try and shoot whilst they're capturing. The best thing to do. Sometimes you can get 2 or 3 kills, and it really does feel good, and it helps so much. So guys, my biggest tip to you about double kills is just you've got to grind it. There's no luck about it, as I've mentioned. There's no skill involved in doing it. It's just luck. If you can jump into games with everyone with Flat Jacket, you're not going to get a single double kill. You can jump into games with no one has Flat Jacket, you can get 4 double kills. It's completely fucking RNG. There is no other way around it, unfortunately. I think Flat Jacket, especially for launchers, should be toned down a lot, especially because the launchers are literally terrible in this game. Like, they're not good at all. They should not be this bad. And even the RPG, it struggles big time. The RPG is so much easier because it reloads faster, it aims in faster, you can run around with the gun faster, and that is easier. The Sigma is not like that. The Sigma is a completely different gravy. But guys, if you have any other questions or anything else that I didn't cover in this video, please drop it in the comments down below and I will answer them. I usually answer every single comment anyway. But this is everything I can think of towards the top of my head to go over with the Sigma. But as I mentioned, just let me know if you've got any questions in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them as quickly as possible. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video and I hope it has been informative for you. Again, thank you very much for getting this far. And if you haven't got this far, comment down below hashtag we hate the Sigma. That will be yeah, they'll know that you've got this far in the video. But guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy and this was very helpful to you, definitely drop a subscribe on the channel. That'd be amazing. I'll do a lot more videos on how to get dark matter much easier for all of the weapons in the game. I think that'll be a good video series to do as well. So I'm going to do that in the next, probably over the next week or so as well. So that'll be cool. Drop a like if you guys are brand new too. That'll be absolutely amazing. It will help the video get out there to people that are struggling. And without further ado, we'll see you all in the next video.